Today's Spotlight is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor, First Community Financial Bank, the community bank where you come first. Joining me now on Spotlight is the American Legion and the VFW. I have with me Lee Lindbergh. He's the commander of the Naperville American Legion Post 43, and Tom Parker is the senior vice commander of Judd Kendall VFW Post 3873. So glad to have you guys with us today.
Glad to be here.
Good to be here.
We're going to start out because I know for those of us who are not or have not been a part of the military, understanding the difference between the VFW and the American Legion can be a little confusing. Tell us a little bit about the differences between and the similarities.
Okay. Well, in a nutshell, everybody who's a member of the VFW and the American Legion is a military veteran. Probably at the most basic sense, the difference is to what degree they served during a time of conflict or combat. For the VFW, that's members that were actually in the theater, that actually were in combat, where for the American Legion, it's members who were in the military but did not make it to the theater of operations.
Okay, so I could be possibly a member of both.
Absolutely. Yeah, and in Naperville, one of the nice things is that the vast majority of members are members of both posts, both the VFW and the American Legion. And that's something you don't see in a lot of towns. We have a great working relationship. Many of the events we do together, so it's often hard to distinguish who is a member of what.
And that's kind of nice.
That's very nice.
That's kind of nice. And you guys have different locations that you have your meetings at, but you also share facilities sometimes, yes?
That's correct. Yeah, we've got the VFW post, which is on Jackson. And because of the location of the American Legion post downtown, actually getting there, finding parking, getting upstairs to the room, often difficult, so we share our facility over on Jackson, and it works out nicely for everybody.
That's terrific. And you guys, it's a great facility, and you're always so welcoming to the community there, too. I know I've been there a couple of times for different things. We're heading into Memorial Day weekend, and I think it's important to remind ourselves, what are we celebrating with Memorial Day? What's the significance and the importance of it?
Well, Memorial Day began probably right after the end of the Civil War, when people began decorating graves of fallen servicemen. And it grew in popularity. I think it was in 1868 when General John Logan, who headed up the Grand Army of the Republic, an organization of Civil War veterans, mostly Union veterans, declared that May 30th would be Memorial Day. And of course it was called Decoration Day for many years. And it grew from there. I think the little town of Waterloo, New York is generally attributed to being the foundation or the founding town of Memorial Day. It was in 1971 that Congress passed the law which declared the last Monday in May as Memorial Day. So that's the way it's been for the last 40-some years.
And we're celebrating that here in Naperville. And you guys do a lot getting ready for that, because I know you have a lot of things that you do leading into that Monday. Tell us a little bit about those.
Okay. Well, a couple of things we do. I mean, obviously, we're getting the word out to the public. We have the parade, but some of the things that go on behind the scenes that people don't know about. First, we go out on the Thursday, Friday, Saturday before Memorial Day and place flags at all of the grave sites of military veterans throughout Naperville. So folks just kind of notice the flags are there, but we do put a lot of effort into making sure we do that. Probably something that's more well known is actually the poppies.
Yeah.
We have folks throughout town distributing poppies. All we ask is a donation that we'll utilize to help military veterans. But, you know, in return for that donation, you get the red poppy, which truly has become a symbol for Memorial Day.
Yeah. It's a wonderful, wonderful symbol. So now the parade is going to kick off at 10:30 a.m. on Monday. We're excited about that, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But you are up at the crack of dawn doing a whole lot of activities leading into the parade. So why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the things you do on the actual Memorial Day?
Okay. Well, what we do on Memorial Day is we kind of kick things off at 8 o'clock. We start by doing a memorial service down at the Dan Schanauer Memorial, which is behind City Hall. And from there, we just kind of rotate around town to different memorials. In all, we do 5 memorial services that morning, and then come back just prior to the parade so that we have everybody ready for that. And then one little known thing is that there is a reading of the names, I guess is the easiest way to put it, but there are 120 members of the Naperville community who have served in the military between the Black Hawk War and current day that lost their lives in combat. So each of those names are read, 120 names in total, 119 men, 1 woman, but we go through that as well.
I think that's a great respectful honor. Really nice.
It is.
Lee, tell us a little bit about some of the units that are participating in the parade. Who can we expect to see?
Well, you'll see a lot of marching bands. We'll have 4 high school bands. I think we have something like a dozen junior high, middle school bands. We have about 12 Cub Scout troops. The parade will begin with the police, of course, followed by the American Legion and VFW Honor Guard. And ex-Mayor Pradle will be the parade marshal.
Citizen George.
Citizen George. And then the commanders of the Legion and the VFW will follow. And then the Naperville Municipal Band. And Officer of the Day will be Chuck Beagle, or I should say Parade Marshal will be Chuck Beagle. Officer of the Day is Bob Owensby. These are 2 Marine Corps World War II veterans, longtime Napervillians. We have the Highland Bagpipers from the fire department. Many marching units, Kiwanis,
Lots of people that are coming
KCs,
out.
yeah.
And participating. And then you also have a lot of people. I know I've been on the parade route so many times, and it's always so emotional to see all the people standing and supporting as the parade goes by. About how many people do you think come on out to the parade?
They've been estimating upwards of 65,000 on a nice day, and of course we sure pray for sunshine that day.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I know that we do too, because that's a day that we are out taping, and you're going to be able to see it on the station that Monday night. One last quick question. You also have some memorial services that you do after the parade. Just give us a quick update on that.
After the parade at Central Park, we have about a half an hour ceremony. During that ceremony, the municipal band plays some patriotic songs. We usually have a school group come out and participate as well.
That'll be Kennedy this year.
Okay, so Kennedy will
the Eagles will be there.
Them. And then also what we will do is we'll have a guest speaker who will give us a few words. But like I say, all in all, just a time to think about all those who have given their lives in the service of their country and to make it a fun day for folks.
Our guest speaker on that day is Rowan Macwan, who won the state oratorical contest for the American Legion and went on to the national in Indianapolis about a month ago and took 2nd place nationally.
That's
competing against all 50 states and Mexico and Puerto Rico and France.
That's terrific. So listen, come on out, Memorial Day Monday, May 25th. Support your American Legion, your VFW, and all of the wonderful people who have served their country. If you need more information, visit their website, and don't forget to tune in to NCTV later that night as we rebroadcast the parade. We're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned because we're going to be right back. I'd like to thank all of my guests for being with us today and for their commitment to making Naperville a great place to live, to learn, and to thrive. I'd also like to thank First Community Financial Bank, our presenting sponsor, for their generous support of today's show. To learn more about today's guests, you can visit our website at nctv17.com. And for daily updates on what's happening around town, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. For Spotlight, I'm Jane Wernette, saying thank you for watching and thank you for supporting Naperville's not-for-profits.